What's up, y'all? This is Husker Hype Radio. Make sure to listen and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Husker Hype Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 24 of the Husker Hype Radio podcast. Aaron, that's more than 3 weeks of days of Husker Hype Radio podcast. We're almost at a month of Husker Hype Radio podcasts.
That's exciting, Eddie. That's a great stat. I can't wait to see us when we're at episode 240.
Right? And we'll be here, dude. We will freaking be here. I might be shirtless. Hell, I might even be naked for that 240th episode. Who knows, baby? You just have to tune in. Aaron, no game this past weekend. So what did the boys do? Eddie, I watch college football, dude. I love beer. I had 3 freaking things going on in the living room. 3 games, 2 on the laptop, 1 on the big screen. Went to Buffalo Wild Wings with DJ Faders and a couple other friends. Watched football. It was just a football packed Saturday, man, and it was pretty awesome. Dude, I would rather see the Huskers play, but there was a lot of good games, and I can't wait to talk about them. What about you, Aaron?
I did the same thing, Eddie. Saturday was a very sit on your ass and do nothing kind of day for me. I had the marathon on Sunday, so I was just sitting around watching games. I too had 3 TVs on with different games. I can't wait to talk about a couple of them as well. I had some good wins. I had a good week last week in my betting. I made some money, but I also had some bad beats, and I'm sure we'll cover that. But it was a good weekend overall of college football.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Big Ten football was as pretty much as Big Ten as you could get this past week. I mean, freaking low scoring. You had the the Iowa Wisconsin game, which we talked about. That it's going to be a classic Big Ten football game. Exactly that. What was it? 10-16.
It was 15-6.
15-6, dude. And I think you saw that on Twitter. It was like Iowa in 6 drives had 3 yards, and they still won the football game.
Yeah.
How does that even happen? Big Ten football, dude.
Big Ten football.
Big Ten football. That's what you can equate that to. And then we had Maryland, Illinois. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I lost that bet because I bet Illinois to freaking win.
Maryland to win.
Yeah, Maryland to win.
Yep.
And Illinois comes in, beats them 24-27 at their home field, game-winning field goal. Rutgers over Michigan State. Penn State beats the brakes off of UMass. Both of us were right on those bets. I had the spread. You had the over. You said that Penn State could score 42 points by themselves. I said, yeah. And they're also, then we had Michigan and Indiana where I had the spread on that one and you had the over on that one. Same type of deal. We both won. 2 of the best teams in the Big Ten just really showing their shit.
And let's save the Iowa-Wisconsin debate for later because we got something. We'll tease that toward just after a little bit here. The Illinois-Maryland game, I had Maryland -14. That was the biggest lock in my head, especially because Maryland's scoring all these points. Nebraska beats Illinois. They look inept. And I had a lot of money on that game, Eddie. And I was so pissed that Maryland lost. I was in the garage just beside myself.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think you said fuck Maryland in a text to me. And it does suck that you lost your money. But if we look on the bright side here, I mean, that win against Illinois looks a lot better for Nebraska. And the up and coming game against Maryland now looks a lot more manageable. In my mind, Maryland was going to be the team where it was probably going to be the most tough. And now they lost to a team that we beat. Let's go, baby. Nebraska wins the Big Ten West, wins out, dude.
And that game was at Maryland, and Maryland has to come to us. So I agree, Eddie. That makes that a lot more manageable because that was the hardest one on the remaining schedule. So And then the Iowa Wisconsin one that was huge for especially the Big Ten West standings because it was Wisconsin number one with they were 2-0 going into that game, and Iowa was 2-1. So
Right.
we'll get into that later. We're gonna go through the Big Ten East and West likely winners, all that stuff. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to get Northwestern? Do you have anything else to add from the slate this week?
I mean, the other good game, or a game where I didn't really expect to be that bad of a game, was for USC. Caleb Williams throws 3 picks. He threw 3 picks all last season and then throws 3 in this game. Xavier Watts, a guy out of Omaha, had one of them. But yeah, Notre Dame really showed their shit. And USC, buddy, they're not going, they're out of the conversation as far as college football playoff, all that jazz.
Yeah, that's a tough loss for them. Another game that was exciting was Oregon Washington 8-9. Washington with the win at home.
But he missed the field goal to send it into overtime, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Great back and forth football game. That was a fun one. And the Friday night game, I don't know if you saw this, but I watched the whole thing. Stanford, Colorado. Dude.
Yep.
Dude. You know what I saw? I was at the bar with my Newport Landing guys, and I was talking to Detroit Greg, and he goes, he's a retired Detroit police officer. He says, Eddie, what do you think about the Colorado football team? What do you think about them? I said, Greg, they're not building the right foundation. They're building their foundation with sand. You know, they're making the fucking Empire State Building on sand. It's not packed down. It's not hard. And what I saw, Colorado against Stanford in that second half when they started to fall apart, I saw players yelling at each other, getting mad at each other. I saw some dude talk back to Coach Sanders. I just saw a whole meltdown on their sideline, and that doesn't equate to a good football team. You can have the most talented guys on your team, but if they're not clicking together and playing as one, then that's what happens, man.
Uh-huh.
And that's not what Matt Rule is trying to build. Matt Rule is trying to build that foundation. He's building that shit with fucking grade A cement, brother. You know what I'm saying? He's fixing that shit up real well, making sure that he's got all the binding agents and everything in it for us to build the fucking Burj Khalifa, baby.
Dude, and Deion Sanders after the game, he's like, yeah, I question the heart and the love of the game and the hearts of these kids. And I'm like, damn, dude, to call your players out like that, I mean, that's pretty ballsy. I feel like only a couple guys can do that, and Deion's definitely like on that list. But when you see Colorado players like having like TikToks recorded them on the sidelines, Shador Sanders is posting links to his website at halftime when they're up 21-0. That's when I went to bed. I was like, this game's over. I'm going to bed. It's late.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just a very interesting program over there, which I'm glad that's not us.
I feel like it's pretty like almost the opposite of what Matt Rule is trying to build here. And it's two different ways to run a program. It's not saying that his way is wrong, but I think that what Matt Rule is more focused on doing is, like I said, building that strong foundation and getting guys to buy in to the team and to the program, the tradition. I mean, I guess Colorado, like, they don't sing the fight song. They don't run out after with Ralphie anymore. You know, they're not playing Colorado football, dude. They're playing Coach Prime's football.
Yeah, and that's why we're glad we have Matt Rule, and you hear him talk week in, week out. It's about the team. It's about next man up. It's about tradition and all the things we love, and that's why we're Husker football fans, man.
Mm-hmm. There is no place like Nebraska, and we will stick together in all kinds of weather for dear old Nebraska U.
That's the best way to sum it up right there.
So yeah, I mean, just great weekend of college football. I wanted Nebraska to play, but they're playing this Saturday. Guess what? In Lincoln, Nebraska, celebrating 100 years in Memorial Stadium. We're going to have those new jerseys, which really all they are is a blue outline on the numbers. I don't think anything else really changed.
I think
But
it's like different script, maybe a little bit, but nothing too dramatic.
yeah, I think on the side it has like the through these gates, past the greatest fans, like it has all the things on the side of the stadium and stuff. But that's not really all that important. It's about the game. We're playing Northwestern. And boy, oh boy, is this going to be a good one. I think that every week now, Matt Rule said it himself. He said we could either win every game going on against all these teams or we could lose everyone. It's a 50-50 ball game for the rest of the season as far as right now. And I think Nebraska just has to work on focusing on bettering themselves rather than looking at the opponent ahead of them, saying, "Hey, let's play our football." You know.
Mm-hmm. And Northwestern, as you look at their schedule, they're 3-3, 1-2 in the Big Ten. Lost to Rutgers, beat UTEP, lost to Duke, won against Minnesota, which was the shocker in OT. Got their ass kicked by Penn State, and then they lost last week to Howard.
Won against Howard, but only by 3 points.
Yeah. What did I say? Lost?
Yeah, you said lost.
Yeah. Yep, my bad.
But yeah, that Minnesota one, that's pretty much a shocker. But that just kind of tells you, I mean, Maryland, Illinois, another thing of how wild this Big Ten West is this season. It's really anybody's game. And now I feel like the standings are, if you win out in the Big Ten West, then you win the Big Ten West. You know, if you win the rest of your games and you're playing in the Big Ten West, then you're going to go to the Big Ten Championship.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. When you can play and know that the fate of the season's still in your hands,
you control your own destiny.
We currently control our own destiny. We don't need things to fall into place. We don't need a loss here or something crazy to happen over here. We control our own destiny. You play the man in front of you, like you said, Ed, and you win the game.
And you have faith in your guys.
Exactly.
And you have faith in your guys, man. I have faith in my guys, my Huskers, the team that I root every single Saturday for unconditionally. Yes. Those guys? Yep. I love them. All of them. You bet your ass I do, pal. I mean, we just covered Northwestern's record. Their offensive and defensive stats, aren't really – they're almost an eyesore, man. Almost last in everything on offense and defense in the Big Ten, at least. Matt Rule did say, that they're playing their coach. I forget where he's from. He's a defensive coordinator from somewhere. 1-year deal when he has them on, but these guys are playing with their hearts out. I mean, we predicted Northwestern to have one fucking win this season, Aaron. And they're 3-3, a lot better than what anybody would have thought. Nebraska, Maryland, Iowa, Wisconsin, Purdue, Illinois. Those are the remaining games on the schedule. What do you have to say?
I think that I don't think that they're going to win another game this year. They might squeak one or two out on some shit, but I think Northwestern's who they are. They are who we think they are. And I'm not worried about it. Their offensive stats, 13th in the Big Ten in yards per game, 306. Not great. Their passing yards 10th in the Big Ten. Nothing's great on the offense for them, really. I'm not scared of the offense, especially with that black shirt defense.
Rushing yards last in the Big Ten, and you bet your ass if they're last in the Big Ten, they're going to stay last in the Big Ten when they play the fucking black shirts, baby. You think we're going to let on the 100th year celebration of Memorial Stadium at night, we're going to let those motherfuckers gain an inch on us when they're running the ball wise? I don't think so, bud. Luke Reimer's back. Luke Reimer is back. We have Deshaun Singleton, who's still out. But, dude, this defense, I mean, they're going to keep that momentum going. I don't see this defense getting worse throughout the season.
And that's a good point there, Ed. I think this is a good tune-up game. We're coming off a bye week. One thing that you and I have echoed the past couple of weeks is that our pass defense is somewhat hairy sometimes
Yeah.
with the gaps in the zones. So this is a good tune-up game. If we can shut down their run, force them to pass the ball a lot, and then we can lock that down and look good and make some strides and have some momentum, that'll be great for our defense.
Right. 306 yards a game passing. So they're second to last in the Big Ten for that. Are we last?
What are you looking at?
Yards per game passing. Oh, wait, never mind. Passing yards, they're 203. So we're probably behind them in passing yards, but still.
We're second to last in passing yards. The only team that's last, Iowa Hawkeyes.
Nice. So yeah, 203 passing yards. I think that this passing defense with the bye week it's not a practice. This is a game, but it's probably going to be one of the worst passing offenses that we play for the rest of the season, besides the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right. Their defense, honestly, not great either. The one that also I had circled, they're last in the Big Ten with rush yards allowed, 172 rush yards allowed per game. We're going to run up and down the field on these motherfuckers, Eddie.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Anthony Grant, Emmett Johnson, Heiner Carbarg. I'm going to say 2 out of 3 of those guys have 100-yard rushing yards under the lights in Memorial Stadium. Dude, I mean, you're not going to be there. Am I correct? You're going to be there, right?
Correct.
There's a wedding going on, which is a sin.
I mean, we've said this once, but I need to reiterate it. Please don't. If you're a Husker football fan, for the love of God, don't have a fall wedding.
Well, my cousin, one of my cousin Eric, he had a wedding this past Saturday because he knows that if he had it, then all his uncles would be fucking ceremony would be going on. They'd have their phones like this, just like, woo.
Yeah. The bye week. If you're gonna do it on the bye week. But honestly, even that, like, that's hairy too.
Yeah, it's all hairy. Just don't do it, especially if you live in the state of Nebraska and people that you invite are Husker fans. I mean, congratulations to those getting married, but really, when my Huskers play,
that's all right.
Really? Yeah, we're gonna run up and down the field against these guys, and I think that more than we really want to, we're gonna have to rely on running the football more with Marcus Washington being out. Malachi Coleman, I guess, will take the starting position though. Matt Rule said in his press conference today that Malachi will start. So that could be exciting. Maybe we see Malachi, dude, have a game and burst out of his bubble and fucking show the world what's up, baby.
That'll be good. It'll be nice to see. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the offense has dialed up with the week off and having new playmakers in those key roles.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Nothing really else, man, about this game. I just think that Nebraska is going to win the football game. And I'm excited to see our boys go out and play their football, And what about I want to talk about, did you watch the little movie type thing, or you saw the clip at least, where Matt Rule before the Northern Illinois game goes, if we die, we die?
Oh yeah, that everybody was posting about and shit.
Oh yeah. Kevin Durant posted it, I guess. If we die, we die. How freaking sick is that? But I think that Buddy should have saved that one for something better than Northern Illinois. Like, dude, now what are you gonna? It's against Northern Illinois, and you say if we die, we die. That's fucking great. But imagine if that was like against fucking Iowa in the last game, halftime, and the game 0-0 or some shit like that.
Well, like, unless it's one of those things where you got to set that tone where it's like, this is a thing that Coach Rule says, if we die, we die. And then you build it up all year. And then you have the boys in the locker room, halftime Iowa game. If you win this game, you go to the Big Ten championship, and he's just looking around. And then he says those key words, if we die, we die. And then the boys get that chill on the back of their neck. Like, Coach is right. Coach is right. He's been saying that all year. If we die, we die. Let's go out there, just wreak havoc.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if we die, we die. There's nothing better that you can say to your fellas to go out and play football and say, if we die, we die. Unless he's just got a ton of up his sleeve and he comes up with even better ones every single game. He's the type of guy that
Coach
I feel
talk.
like can
It's
actually
coach
have
talk.
that.
Coaches
Yeah.
have those like one-liners where it's like, "Oh fuck, coach is right."
And dude, almost like I do like how we get to see that, but do you think that maybe they should like save that for the team almost?
Well,
Like
not
it's good content and everything and it fires me up, but that's
we're getting
almost something I feel like should be kept to the team a little bit, you know?
it's the age-old question of is the locker room not what's the word? Is it not a sanctuary anymore? Is it not a holy place anymore for the boys?
Right.
That's a big
Right.
talk going around in the MLB right now because a big like something some dude said in the locker room got out in the media and they're like, why is the media in the fucking clubhouse? I agree, Eddie. It's kind of one of those things where I love to see it, but it takes the luster out when you but in this scenario, I don't think that he was doing it for the camera. I think he was just giving a speech and they just happened to catch it, which is a difference
Yeah.
compared to like, I don't know, Coach Prime, where I feel like they pull cameras in and then he gives a speech for display, for
Right.
show, not for the boys.
Yeah. He's definitely not doing it for clout, but it's just one of those things where like if that was kept with the team a little bit and not, spread all throughout the media, then it might mean a little more something to just the team. But I don't know. You could look at it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else, man? We got the Big Ten West, like we kind of said already, man. It's wide open. Every team controls their own destiny now with Wisconsin having one loss, especially Nebraska, man. Like what I think that it's really going to come down to the last game. I don't want to talk too far ahead, but I am. The last game, Iowa, Nebraska, both of us have won out, and that game will be, you know, even if because we have two losses, Iowa has one loss. If they went out and they have one loss and we have two losses, we hand that loss to them. We have the tiebreaker.
Uh-huh.
You know, so we're in perfect position to control our own destiny and fucking make our way through the Big Ten. It's sick, dude. It's sick. We're in a
Uh-huh.
perfect spot.
So Iowa, they have 5 games left. They haven't even had their bye yet. So they have Minnesota, Northwestern on a neutral site, Rutgers, Illinois, then at Nebraska. If I was a betting man, I would say that Iowa has the edge over like Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got at Illinois, Ohio State at home, at Indiana, Northwestern at home, Nebraska at home, at Minnesota. Wisconsin's going to drop one or two of those.
Yeah.
One to us and then one to Ohio State.
Yeah. Yeah. And Iowa has that's a pretty freaking easy schedule that they got
Take.
ahead of them, except for the
Yeah.
last one on Black Friday.
I think
So
Rutgers will be tricky for them. It'll be at home, so that's good for Iowa. But I think Rutgers is the only other game that I could see them dropping potentially outside of Nebraska.
yeah.
And then Nebraska, we're 1-2 so far. We got Northwestern, Purdue at home, at Michigan State, Maryland at home, at Wisconsin, and then we rounded out with Iowa at home.
Dude, let's go.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the you know, Maryland probably the biggest one that I thought about before this week, and now it's definitely if we have them at home and they lost to Illinois, that just gives us all the benefit of the doubt. Wisconsin now maybe might be, or Iowa will be the hardest one, especially just all that game that what it has entailed in it, a big rivalry. But that's that we have that at home too.
Mm-hmm.
So
The last 3 for us, I think we have 3 harder games than compared to Iowa and Wisconsin between
yeah,
Maryland and Wisconsin.
yeah, we definitely do. We have it harder, at least considering against Iowa's schedule.
Right.
Like, it's going to be harder for us to win out than it will for Iowa be to win out until that last game. So just, oh, dude, how sick would that be, dude? Matt Rule's first year Big Ten championship. I don't care if we get smacked by Michigan or Ohio State or Penn State. I'm glad that we made it to the West, and dude, then the boys could be in the fucking Rose Bowl, baby.
Yeah, and even just to like salvage all the shit talking for after the first 2 weeks, after the first 2 losses, to salvage a season of mockery would just be, I don't even know what I would do, Eddie.
It'd be awesome, dude. And there could be, I could see a game, that Iowa game, Big Ten champ bowl game, where I cry tears. I cry tears of joy. Like, I could see that definitely happening. Don't put that past the Husker hypester, dude, because that's okay if you cry for Nebraska football.
And honestly, though, like, I hate to say this, but that Minnesota loss just hurts even more now, week 1, because if we're 2-1 right now,
Oh yeah,
that puts us in the driver's seat. We're at the
Yeah.
top of the fucking list.
it really does. It really does. And this conversation that we're having between the two of us right now, where we're looking scared or not scared, but this game, Wisconsin or Maryland, a little iffy before we go and play Iowa. We're not thinking that at all. Like, and that first game was only 3 points too. So it's just so shitty that had to happen in that way against on the first week. But I definitely think that this team is a team that gets better every week and learns from their mistakes. So great. I think it was a great time for the bye week too. And Northwestern, a team that we could possibly, I'm not saying we are, but possibly fucking steamroll, like how sick would that be? Just show a fucking statement, steamroll, 100 years. Thank you, Memorial Stadium. Thank you, football gods. Thank you, Matt Rule. Let's go on and win out this fucking season, baby.
That's the West. Anything else on the West? Because
No.
the East is pretty straightforward, man. I wrote down 3 weekends. This weekend's a huge weekend. Penn State at Ohio State. 11-11's Michigan at Penn State. And then the game is on, I think that's Black Friday or that Saturday, 11/24, Ohio State at Michigan.
Oh, dude.
Those are the 3 weekends that decide the East.
Yep. And I mean, I almost think that the loser of Penn State, Ohio State will kind of take one of those two teams out this week. Who's ever the loser of that game. Because who do you say plays on 11-11?
Michigan at Penn State.
Okay. So actually, really not, dude. Really, really not.
Yeah, because they each play. They have one home and one away between the 3. So I think this weekend's huge. If Penn State can make a statement and beat Ohio State at the shoe, then have Michigan at home like 2-3 weeks later, Penn State's in the driver's seat. Penn State could win the East.
Yeah, dude. It's that 3-headed monster over there on the East, baby.
If you're a betting man right now, Eddie, who do you have coming out?
Oh, who do I have coming out? I think I got the Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh's year, dude. I think I have the Wolverines to win the whole fucking thing.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I have Michigan because I could see Ohio State losing to Michigan and Penn State. I could see Penn State losing to Ohio State and Michigan, but I can't see Michigan losing to both Ohio State and Penn State, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that does. That does. Yep. Yeah, like this one, Ohio State and Penn State is like a 50-50 toss-up. So that's a great segue into picks.
Great segue.
Unless you have anything else to talk about, Aaron, before we get into our picks here.
I'm ready, baby.
All right, let's go ahead and get after it, folks. Big Ten picks week 8. Let's start with Rutgers in Indiana. Rutgers are -4.5. The over-under is 41.5. Aaron, I got Rutgers -4.5 over Indiana. I think Indiana is just after that beat down against Michigan, all the blood is drained out of them. They're not going to come back like Nebraska will. You know, they're done. And Rutgers are on fire right now. They're on super hot
I
fire.
I have Rutgers as well, -4.5 Ed. And I want to just say I'm 14-5 the last 2 weeks. I'm hot. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm putting that out there, folks.
Yeah, and Ed is not.
But we
I don't.
tend to the games that we agree on, we tend to both win. So that's good. That's a good stat.
Okay. Yes. Penn State, Ohio State game we just talked about, -3.5 Ohio State. I feel like that's pretty much just home field advantage right there. This is a 50-50 ball game. Over under 46.5. I mean, I just got the over because I like Penn State. Yeah, I almost want to choose them, but the home field advantage with Ohio State is pretty big. So I got the over.
I have Penn State. I think their defense is good. I think Ohio State and Penn State have similar offenses, and I think I give the edge to Penn State for sure for the defense. And so I think Penn State can win the game +3.5.
+3.5 Penn State. Nice, nice. Northwestern, Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska favored by 12, over under 42.5. Nebraska steamrolls Northwestern under the lights in Lincoln, -12. Easiest bet of the fucking year for me, bud.
Write it in Nebraska -12.
Yep. Score prediction.
Nebraska. I want to see Nebraska over 30 this week, bro. Nebraska 32, Northwestern 7.
I'm gonna go 38-7. 38-7. Tristan Alvano gets a kick, gets his confidence boosted a little bit.
I
You
like
know?
that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Wisconsin, Illinois here. Wisconsin favored by 2.5. 42.5 is the over. I on this game have the over here, pal.
The over.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. I have Wisconsin -2.5. If they want to have a chance in the West, they need to win this game. Nebraska already beat Illinois, so Wisconsin -2.5.
Okay. Very nice. Minnesota at Iowa, -3.5. Iowa over under. This is the lowest over under, I guess, in sports bet. Second lowest over under in college football sports betting history at 32.5. And I like the under, dude. Minnesota, Iowa. The under and the last year was like I think the most lowest under, most lowest over
Was
under,
Yep.
and the under hit. So under hits again, 32.5.
Nice. I have this is hard for me to say, Eddie, but I'm riding Iowa -3.5. I just don't think Minnesota's offense is good. Iowa's defense is so goddamn good, so they're not going to score. Iowa's going to kick a few field goals. It's going to be like 9-0.
Dude, Iowa's defense is so goddamn good, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be like it could be 9-0 or 6-0, and they'll still win that bet. 2 field goals.
Michigan State, -24 Michigan, over under 47.5. I got the Michigan Wolverines to beat the spread. They did it last week. They did it the week before.
What was the spread on that one? 25?
24.
24. Super. Yeah, Michigan's been steamrolling everybody. That's a good bet. That's what I would do. But I have this logic where if I know a team can score a fuckload of points by themselves, go with the over because this is only 47.5 and Michigan's been scoring like madmen. So I'm going with the over.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go conference picks. Aaron, go ahead, start.
Starting the SEC, some might say the second best conference in the nation. That's what I say. I have South Carolina at Missouri. It's over City. It's over 59.5.
Okay. I have two on here. I have Missouri and South Carolina and Tennessee and Alabama. And I'm going to go with the dogs. Tennessee at Alabama plus 8.5. They beat them last year. They beat them again this year. Both quarterbacks for Tennessee and Alabama, not too good. So I think that the point differential, it won't be more than a touchdown. Plus
What's
8.5.
this? Plus 8.5 cap. Head on over. I have the Big 12 next. I have two picks for the Big 12. I'll let you go first so I can
Okay,
shoot.
I have West Virginia at Oklahoma State. I got the over 50.5. That's all I need to say.
Over 50.5.
Yep.
That's a good one, Ed. I like that. I have Texas Tech at BYU over 52. The other pick I liked a lot was Baylor at Cincy minus 2.5.
Yeah, Cincy minus 2.5
I
at
like that
Cincy. Yeah,
at
that's good.
Cincy.
But
Pac-12
you're locking in
Texas Tech
BYU,
at
Texas Tech.
over 52. Yep.
Okay.
Pac-12, I love betting Wazoo. Wazoo
Yep.
at Oregon over 61.
Wait. Oh, Washington State. I'm sorry. Every time you say what, I kind of think Washington, but Wazoo is Washington State.
Yep.
Who decided that?
I don't know.
That's what it is, though.
Maybe they decided
So
themselves. There's probably some old college lure.
yeah. Because like Mizzou is Missouri, but that's just Missouri. Like it's not Missouri State.
True.
Wazoo's so sick though, dude. Like if I was watching them, be like, why can't we fucking be Wazoo? Okay, Utah at USC. This would be a game that I think would be super fun to go to. I wish I could. It starts at 5. Nebraska Northwestern's at 12:30. Maybe we could pull it. I don't know. We'll see. But plus 6.5 Utah is my bet. I think Utah wins outright, but plus 6.5.
Wow, Eddie's fallen off the USC hype pretty quick.
Yeah. No, I don't think I was ever big about the USC, bro.
About the USC.
I was never big about the USC. No, dude. I always said that their defense was always a little spotty, dude.
Yeah, okay. Final conference is the Atlantic Coast Conference. I have Duke at Florida State over 49.
Nice. Dude, what's the spread for that game? That's almost like a trap, dude. You could fucking they might be that team that upsets all the motherfuckers this year.
Who are you talking about?
Duke and Florida State.
What could be the team that could upset
Duke.
motherfuckers?
Dude.
You think Duke can upset Florida State this week?
Bro, they beat fucking Clemson and Notre Dame.
Clemson and Notre Dame fucking suck.
Who's the guy that said Florida State's the best fucking team in the land? They only
Florida
won against
State
like
puts points up, buddy.
They only won against like 3 against Boston College, dude.
They beat LSU by 20.
LSU lot.
LSU's number. LSU's fucking number fucking what the fuck are they? LSU's ranked right now 19th still.
Oh shit, brother. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a trap game.
What do you mean it's a fucking trap game?
It's a trap game.
You think
People
that
are gonna
Florida State
bet? What's the spread?
14 for Florida State.
Oh, dude. Trap game for sure, buddy.
Well, you're saying that Duke plus 14 is a good bet?
Yeah.
Well, I took the over 49.
Yeah. No, I like the I like the over.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying okay.
I'm not saying that your bet is bad, but I'm saying like a lot of people are going, oh, minus 14, fucking Florida State over Duke. Duke, who the fuck are they? Duke.
Yo, is that your pick?
No.
Oh, okay.
My pick is Clemson at Miami. I got minus 3.5 Clemson, dude. Miami's kind of a team I feel like Colorado, where their history is, if the boys are down bad, then the boys don't come together as a team,
Was that minus 3 or 3.5?
Minus 3.5 Clemson.
Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. That's another good week of a slate. I'm looking forward to Penn State at Ohio State. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Where are you gonna watch the game? Oh, are you just gonna watch it on the fucking
On the old iPhone, dude, because I'm going to be at a wedding.
Well, you know what? You could always tune into Husker Hype Radio because we broadcast every single week play-by-play commentary, some of the best in the business, the most hype broadcast in all of college football is what I like to say. Guys, tune in, follow, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok if you have it. This was episode 28 of Husker Hype Radio podcast. I'm Eddie Rosenthal. That's Aaron Worsfold, folks. Bleed red, shit corn, go big red.
Go Big Red.